Hey, welcome back to the channel. We're coming to you from the reloading bench in my basement. Happy New Year. It is New Year's Eve 2023, which makes this sort of a timely video because tomorrow, January 1st, 2024, is opening day for the Cabin Fever Challenge. The Cabin Fever Challenge is a virtual match put on by Rival Chair out of Canada, and 2024 is actually the 10th year that this competition has been running. Essentially, you shoot a course of fire, you record it, you submit it, you score it, and then, at the end of the 3 months, because the competition runs from January 1st to March 31st, they tally up all the scores and crown the winners. The Cabin Fever Challenge, at its core, is a test of just basic shooting competency. For the whole course of fire, it varies how many rounds you shoot based on what division you're in, but essentially it's for centerfire stuff and for rimfire, it is 5 shots standing, mandatory reload, 5 shots kneeling, mandatory reload, 5 shots prone, mandatory reload, and then 5 shots sitting. The centerfire stuff and the centerfire, I'm including the single shot rifles in this as well. That's all shot at 100 yards. The rimfire and the muzzle loaders are shot at 50 yards. The only difference for muzzle loaders is it's only 1 round in each position because we don't need videos that are 4 hours long with people doing 20 shots from a muzzle loader. There are a number of different divisions in this. There's Division 4, what they call vintage, which is typically taken to mean vintage semi-auto. You see a lot of military surplus rifles and stuff in there. They're original rifles. You can't have any optics on it. For stuff that came out in this era, you'll see things like just basic stock AKs with original wood furniture on them. You'll see VZ58s, you'll see Garands, you'll see SKSs, stuff like that in that category. Division 2 is modern and unlimited. You'll see a lot of stuff like ARs, MPXs, modern semi-auto stuff in this category, but modernized semi-auto military rifles also fall in this category. So if you have an AK with a dot or with a magnified optic, something like that, it falls into Division 2, the modern unlimited. For Division 3 is manual repeating. There are no restrictions for optics in this. Most of the people that are shooting manual repeating are shooting vintage military surplus rifles, but the people that win this category are running things like a Ruger American with an optic on it. You could shoot like a CZ600 with an optic in this category. It's just manually operated repeating rifles. Division 4 are single shots, things like old school Springfield trapdoors, Remington rolling blocks, things like that, even up to modern break action single shot rifles. Division 5 is for muzzle loaders, which is pretty self-explanatory. However, last year there were a couple entries from people running matchlocks in the muzzleloader category, which are very old, 16th, 17th century weapons or replicas of those weapons. It's really interesting to see some of those scores, and actually a couple people running matchlocks actually bested out people running more modern muzzleloading firearms. And the Division 6 is 22 rimfire. Again, no real restrictions on 22 rimfire. You can use an optic, you can use iron sights, it doesn't matter. But like I said, the rimfire is shot at 50 yards and is actually shot on a smaller target. So Divisions 1 through 5 are all shot at 100 yards, and the target for that is an 8-inch circle. You don't have to use the Rifle Chair printed target. You can use a commercial 8-inch target, but if you use something besides this, they do want you to show a tape measure or a ruler to show that it is actually 8 inches. This is also the target that's used for muzzle loading at 50 yards. The rimfire target is a 4-inch circle, and this is shot at 50 yards. So that's basically it. To get your score for this, you take the number of hits you made on target, multiply that by 5, divide it by the time in seconds from the first shot to the last shot. You can get that off the video or a shot timer, whatever you have. Multiply all that by 100, and then that's your score. It doesn't matter where within the target you hit. They're just counting hits on the black portion of the target. So now I'm going to shoot this with 4 different rifles in 4 divisions. I've wanted to do this for several years. First time I took out my 24-47 Yugoslavian Mauser, had some ammo issues, had some old surplus ammo, and I guess brittle brass had some ruptured cases that didn't go well. Next couple of years I've just been busy during the first quarter of the year. But I'm actually off tomorrow, and except for loading some 6.5 Swede, I'm prepped for this. So we're going to take 4 rifles out and shoot the course of fire with them. So the first one that you'll see, and this is going to be 4 separate videos to submit to the scoring people. But what you'll see first for me in Division 1 vintage semi-auto is going to be my Moss 4956. This is a French battle rifle from the Cold War era, chambered in 7.5 French. It is not a particularly accurate rifle. The sights are not particularly good, but it's what would have been issued to French forces during that time. Really, the only reason I'm shooting this over one of my Garands or something else, or an SKS or something, is I didn't see anybody in 2023 that shot it with the 4956, so that's what we're going to do. And then for the Division 2, the modern, I'm going to be shooting a pretty basic AR. This is just an arrow upper and lower, 16-inch heavy profile barrel, very sort of mid-tier, I guess you'd say, cost-effective optic. It's just a Bushnell 1-4 on a decent YHM mount. Not a whole lot of magnification, but for sort of the intended use for this rifle, I don't need a whole ton of magnification for it. Geisley handguard, nothing particularly special, but it does give you a good C-clamp on there. The trigger is actually a GI trigger, which will probably be the downfall for this. I think I have a Schmidt 2-stage kicking around in the parts bin. I may put a Schmidt 2-stage in there, or I might just leave the standard GI trigger in there. But that's sort of just a basic, cost-effective AR recipe. For manual repeating, this is what I'm really most excited about. This is my model of 1896 Swedish Mauser. This one was manufactured in 1922. Picked this up probably 2-3 months ago. It has proven to be an exceptionally accurate bolt action rifle. It's in pretty good condition. Everything matches on it. And one interesting thing is that it's actually marked with an SA for finished property. So at some point, either during the Winter War or the Continuation War, Sweden provided this rifle to Finland to fight the Russian advance into their territory. I found a handload for this that works exceptionally well. Actually, I shot 20 rounds out of it on an 8-inch target off a rest last time I went to the range. Of those 20 rounds, 19 impacted on the 8-inch target, and all 19 of those were within a 4.5-inch, I believe, ring on that target, which is really kind of exceptional at 100 yards for a rifle that is 104 years old. But yeah, I like this rifle a lot, so that's what we're going to run for the manual repeating, which just leaves the rimfire. And for me this year, it's going to be a fairly basic Ruger 1022 with a Vortex Crossfire 3-9 on it. This is a heavy barrel version of a 1022. But yeah, fairly standard, nothing real special about this. It runs like you'd expect a 1022 to run and shoots like you'd expect a 1022 to shoot. So those are the 4 rifles that I'll be running. And like I said, aside from loading up some 6.5 Sweet, which I'll do in a minute, we're pretty much ready to go. So in the spirit of this as a match, you can shoot this as many times as you like and submit the best scores, from each particular rifle you want to. For me, I want to think of it as a match, and I want to shoot it cold on each rifle. I want to do it one time. The score I get is the score I get. If it's great, it's great. If it's disappointing, it's disappointing. I'm not going to take ciders on anything, with the exception of the 4956, because it's been probably 6 months since I shot that. I don't remember exactly where 0 is, so I'll take a handful of 0 shots with that just to confirm, and then we'll run it from there. But I'm not going to shoot 3, 4, 5 times with each one and then get the best results. But yeah, I just wanted to make a little intro video for Cabin Fever Challenge. I'm sure there'll be 17 people that watch this, but if you're watching it, I do encourage you to get out and shoot this match sometime in the next 3 months. It's friendly competition, it's fun, and for those of you who really just shoot off a bench primarily and shoot for accuracy, this is a nice way to push yourself a little bit beyond that and maybe dust off those old fundamentals you might not have used in a few years. So yeah, that's pretty much all it is. I'll probably do a compilation video of all 4 rifles that I'm shooting, and then I'll break those out into 4 individual videos, because they really want the submissions. They really want the submissions as individual videos, so they can send them to the captains for each division for scoring. So yeah, hopefully we'll see you out on the range in the next few months. Have fun, shoot safe, shoot straight, keep your powder dry.